I know Mike very well. I think he's scanning the room to know his kids are fucked. He understands it. I've been there. I've had the fingers together like this, thinking about what I'm going to do and what I got to say. I know Mike, and you'll see him get up here and then.
Fortunate set of circumstances. They left Mike Norvell, who has done a fabulous job at Florida State, put the Seminoles in position, and now will be.
Hey, I already know what he's doing. I know what he's doing because that's what leaders do. He had to get up there and say, hey, man, what are we going to do? We're going to fucking cry about it? We're going to bitch about it? Or are we going to go play Georgia? I mean, it is what it is. You got to get him back up because if you let him if you go play the we got fuck game with them as the growing up in the room and the leader, now you're just setting him up for failure in life. I think Mike's going to address him and say, this is what we're doing, man. We got screwed. We know what we got. This is our deal. I feel horrible for the kids. It's just like I defended the Michigan kids. Screw the coaches, Matt. Screw the committee. Screw the admin. Screw everybody. The kids were going to get screwed at Michigan if they kept them out. The kids are here at Florida State are getting screwed. And Brian Bosworth said it right years ago when he wore this shirt. National communists against athletes. He was correct when he wore that shirt. I call him now non-caring assholes of America. B. Bosworth called them national communists against athletes. Either way, they don't care about these kids. And like Weddle said, he's going to come on here later, just like COVID. Make it a 6-game playoff one last time before the 12-game committee starts. You have the right. Go make a 6-game. Give Washington and Michigan a bye and put Georgia and fucking Florida State in and do what you did in COVID. You did it in COVID. Do it again. It's a 12-game playoff next year. So who was going to care? Who's going to bitch about that? I think everybody would have been pleased and would have moved on. So I don't know. It's fucked up.
Well, it is as fucked up as it's ever going to get. And I agree. Like, the inability to change a plan means your plan sucks. And obviously this plan sucks. It's not the first time it sucked, but this is definitely the highest level of sucking that has happened in the playoff committee existence. This is the height of suckiness. So, like,
Superhead level.
I think it's fucking ridiculous. Like, the fact that they can't get in the room and say, we're just going to put Georgia and motherfucking Florida State in, and we're going to give 1 and 2 a bye, and we're going to go, the Peach Bowl is now a motherfucking playoff game. What are we talking about? Why can't they do this? And then you make everyone happy. You're already going to 12 teams next year, like Coach said. So it's just another thing in college football that's not being sorted out on the field when it should be. You know, the kids are getting jobbed, and it's taken away from a great game too. Because God damn it, I don't care what anyone fucking says to me. Florida State is undefeated in the ACC. I mean, that is some bullshit. They got fucking robbed, bro.
But it's a setup, Matt. I think
I'm not saying it's not, Coach, but I am saying that they're
Their defense what I'm saying is
fucking run.
This was a sham. This was a sham when they began this.
I understand what the fuck is happening. I'm saying who's to say Florida State can't get in and go on a fucking run defensively and win a title? That don't tell me a third-string quarterback can't do that. I watched Cardell Jones' fat ass do it. So, like, I think that this entire fucking situation is just another, pull your pants down and tickle your balls by the NCAA. It's another fucking con job. I'm so tired of this shit, dog.
Here's my thing.
I'm glad it's more competitive in some people's eyes, but Florida State's a goddamn great football team that got fucked out of playing in the national title.
Here's the thing. Here's the issue I have, though. Like, we set this up.
They would beat them. How the fuck do you know?
When it was BCS, though, everybody bitched and wanted something else. Even though BCS, for the most part, they really didn't miss on the 4. If you really look at it, maybe one year we had the controversy, but we wanted to go. We always want more. Now we want 12 teams, and then the 13th is going to be pissed. But we've set this up from the jump. It should have been 6, Matt, from the gate, because how do you have 5 Power 5 conferences and only 4 spots? That is a setup for failure from the direction and instruction. And when they devised this, they knew somebody was going to get fucked. And this is what they want because it draws more money to those meaningless bowl games. Because now Georgia playing Florida State is an eye grab. for a game that really means nothing.
It means nothing. So
So
I agree that these bowl games don't mean dick. Although if Florida State wins and they do it convincingly against Georgia, because Georgia's really good, but say just hypothetically, Florida State wins by 20 and they're undefeated. Maybe an AP voter votes them one, and you
that's
actually
like UCF that year.
Yeah, but Florida State is undefeated in the ACC. UCF was not. So
I know, but remember they beat the SEC team in that bowl game. Remember,
I'm just so disgusted about this entire thing, and I'm pissed off for my guys at Florida State. I'm fucking like Coach Atkins and Coach Norvell. Like my heart goes out to them because so much of college football is not determined on the field, and that's shitty. That's terrible, and it needs to stop. And look, I think 12 teams is perfect. I don't give a fuck about the 13th team fucking complaining or, oh, God forbid, the 13th. Who gives a fuck about the 13th team? 12 teams is perfect. I hope they don't do bye weeks. I hope they play 1 and 12. It's more games. And look, to think that a 12 seed can't beat a 1 seed is also ridiculous. Football's a grunt game where anything can literally happen, especially in college. So,
Matt, let me go back to this college football.
Teams, actually, this shit is ridiculous.
Okay, so we know for this year we would like to go 6 games. Okay, and by the way, I didn't say they played 6 games in COVID. I said they passed the rule to have a 6-game playoff. I said they just didn't do it. That was what they did. They ended up choosing the fucking 5th year or whatever, which Jermaine Johnson got. You fucks act like I don't fucking know what's going on here. Holy shit.
They can amend anything they want to coach.
That's what I said. They passed the rule to play 6 during COVID. They could have did it today.
The only problem with that, though, is now last year would have been like, well, you should have passed six games last year.
Yeah,
everybody was going to be pissed that you should have did that.
Simply saying that they could do it.
No, I just said they could do it because they got a 12-game playoff next year. Nobody's going to care about what happened the last year of this Final Four thing. So here's my take, though, Matt. I just got to ask you a question before we move on. What does Matt do then? What do? You're the commissioner. Like, what team gets in then? I know you just want to go 6 and get Florida State in Georgia, but what would you have done? Who gets kept out then in Matt McChesney's world?
Am I just taking the 4 or do I have 6?
Yeah, it's just I know we won 6, but right now if you're on that committee, you're on that committee. I mean, who gets left out?
I'm sorry to say this, and I know the SEC is going to go crazy, but I'm an earn it type, and I would take Michigan, Washington, fucking
Florida State.
Who?
Florida State.
Florida State. They would be the 4, okay. And then Texas. And I'm sorry Alabama doesn't get in, but I know that that's crazy, and it sounds crazy coming out of my mouth. I can't believe it, but I understand that the hypothetical world of they would shit stomp Florida State. They probably would, but I don't live in that world. I live in the did you earn the right to go world. And that sucks that they don't live there because obviously it's the opinion world where college football lives. And that's cool. That's cool. Alabama's probably a better team than Florida State. Not probably, they are. But there's part of me inside that says if you earn the right to go as an undefeated fucking conference champion in the ACC at Florida State of all places, like they're not a blue blood program, they should go. And I don't know if there's a wrong answer, but I don't know if there's a right one either. Like, this is just so, it makes all the work they've done just fucking irrelevant. And all of a sudden, and also, this is the other thing. You can't, if we're talking about the best 4, you can't tell me Georgia's not better than Washington.
I just think Georgia's a top 4 team. I think Georgia's
so, like, are we really putting the best 4 in, or is
we're not?
Alabama's a product of circumstance, but Florida State can't be a product of circumstance, but Alabama.
Yeah.
Like,
if you and I are on the committee,
no consistency on how they pick teams. Everything's off of a whim, and you can't tell me if we're talking about the best 4 that Georgia's not one of the best 4. So
they are.
The entire situation is fucked.
But to your point, Florida State's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, if I remove my emotions, like, I don't think Florida State's the top 14 without Jordan Travis. They deserve to be in. That's one conversation. They deserve. But if I remove my emotions and just really sit back, like, damn, if Florida State without their quarterback, literally a top 14, I don't think they are. Unfortunately, I don't. Like Georgia is, or Georgia, yeah, it's a good. I wouldn't have been mad. It sounds crazy, but like if Georgia would have somehow still snuck in, and maybe Bama didn't. Although again, I know I'm contradicting myself because I said, well, we face each other and I beat you. How can you? I get that, but the fact of the matter is, Bama was what, an 8th seed, I think, before going to this game.
Yeah, they were
8th seed. They went from 8th.
Yeah, but
making the top 4.
Normal 8th, and we've got a bunch of undefeated teams and 1-loss teams. So
I get it.
We got a bunch of really good teams in college football this
year. Here's my thing, real quick. Like if it's just the 4, and I'm against the grain here. If it's just the best 4, and I'm on the committee and with Matt, and I'm going to be honest with you. Florida State's undefeated and all that, but I look at this thing, and Matt, you know, as I know, like football changes, and this is why I disagree with the committee that has the fucking Condoleezza Rices of the world and these fucks on there. They don't understand that Alabama week 1 losing to Texas got fucking better 11 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
They don't understand that Alabama team is not week 1's Alabama team. And if we really want to talk about recency bias, Texas lost to an Oklahoma team who lost to KU, who lost to Texas Tech. And we want to play this Auburn giving Alabama a close game, then let's play the Texas game. They lost to fucking Oklahoma week 8. Much more recent than they beat Alabama.
I think Texas might be the best team in the country right now, bro. They are balling the fuck out. So, like,
they're balling out.
Look, the best win of the year is Texas beating Alabama and Tuscaloosa, hands down. Alabama has gotten so much better since that point. To your point, I think all 4 of the teams in the playoffs they have one consistent trait, and that consistent trait is their offensive line has got some motherfucking dogs on it. And I'm also
getting ready for the SEC, and he's doing it right.
Well, yeah, and look, I'm also biased here a little bit because, one of my guys from Florida State's Casey Roddick, and I obviously wanted to see him in the playoffs because then we would have, Drake Nugent, who, did you see the stat for Drake? 302 pass block snaps, 1 pressure, no sacks. Highest grade center in college football for the Michigan Wolverines. Will be first team unanimous All-American. Will win the Remington. Will scratch that motherfucking itch, baby. It's coming. It's coming 6-0. So I was biased on, Roger Rosengarten and Zach Henning are the right tackle over at Washington. He's Valor product, one Dungeon family guy out here in Denver. And then, Casey for Florida State. So I was a little biased on wanting to see my guys in. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, all these teams are consistently great up front, and they will hammer your ass. Although they're high flying, they also can go out and get super mean and physical in the trench. So I'm so excited to watch these games because they are full of NFL talent. I think Michael Penix Jr. locked down the Heisman, and he should. That guy's a fucking baller. And really it's going to be Michigan. I know they're excited about being number 1, but they caught Alabama. So that one's got me a little bit like, I don't know what to think about that one. I got to really think about this Michigan fucking Alabama game. And I got to be able to separate the fact that I'm pulling hard for Go Blue right now because that's Nick Saban and the motherfucking Crimson Tide. And they do not fuck around in these circumstances. So Michigan pulling Alabama is like, yay, fuck. And then, like right after that, I think the Texas-Washington game has the potential to be one of the best college football games you're gonna see.
So let me try this.
Points and plays and opportunistic defense that can pass rush, but will give up some plays too. I think that could end up being a great fucking game.
So let's dive into this matchups. Okay, so this is gonna talk about why, in my opinion, except for Georgia. I'm on the other side of the thing. I know Florida State, we feel shitty for those kids. I feel shitty for Georgia's kids, which means you don't have enough teams in it or you're doing it wrong during the season with how you're scheduling this thing. So you can really pick a proper number 4 team. So here's my issue, though. Georgia has every gripe in the world that Florida State has, in my opinion, too. They're not in. They haven't lost in 3 fucking years. They're the 2-time defending champs, and TCU got in last year after losing to K-State in their conference title game, and now
different year.
It's kind of hypocritical is all I'm saying. And
well, how is it hypocritical? This year you've got a bunch of undefeated conference champions. It doesn't have anything to do with last year.
Thank you.
Well, you don't have a bunch. You got 2.
We've got that. You got 3. Michigan's undefeated.
Well, I mean, those 2 are in though. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the 3. I'm talking about the 3 teams fighting for that one spot. So, like
last year, you didn't have that problem. You had a bunch of 2-loss teams.
Yeah,
right.
So here's my point though on this one. Like, what are you gonna really look at as a fan? Number 1, as the committee. Number 2, which is bullshit committee, and then all the other coaches in the world. Like, do you want to go see? We knew Kyle McCord got put out when Texas won convincingly over Oklahoma State. I knew Ohio State was out. So Texas was in the mix, of course. We knew that. After Washington won Friday, Washington we knew was in. They were the only team that was in. Michigan still had to beat Iowa, and then Florida State had to handle their business. Florida State, in the last 2 games, we know they won, and that's the name of the game. And I hate that narrative. I do hate the narrative. Trust me, as a coach. We fucking won. I don't care about how we won. But the common denominator in this playoff, I think Jalen Milroe is probably the worst quarterback in the tournament, and Texas probably has the best quarterback in the tournament, in my opinion, as far as playing right now. Now, I love Penix. But I think that Penix, 4 or 5 games in the stretch there in the Pac-12, Penix struggled mildly, threw under 200 yards. I kind of watched. Quinn Ewers was hurt. He came back strong. He's looking good as anyone in the tournament. What Florida State don't have is a fucking quarterback, and that would be a hard watch for me. Like, that would be a hard watch for anybody that's paying big dollars, and we all know this is about money. I don't believe Ohio State deserved to get in because of their quarterback play, and I don't believe Florida State deserved to get in because of their quarterback play. Unfortunately, it's fucked up for those other kids that go to weights at 6 a.m, that go to study hall, that do all the right things that Norvell's asking. Look, we've all coached. We know it. We know this. We get this. But the bottom line, brass tax dollar, is what the bottom line is. It's the brass tax dollar. And Florida State don't have a quarterback that's going to attract anyone to fucking Pasadena, California.
Man, it's just, I'm so disgusted that college football is at this point. Like, it's just, we have to sit here and decipher, like, whether or not a team deserves to play because their quarterback got hurt. Like, it's just, it's disgusting.
It is. Let's move on then. Last night, Smitty, I'm just gonna say, dog, fuck it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta go get the scan, but I'm gonna just try to pop in there and act like I'm ignorant.
What happened? What?
I got a doctor's appointment at 8:00. I had to leave early, but I'm like, fuck, I can't leave. The show's it's too good.
What do you have to see for the doctor for?
My right ball is too big. All right, so let's get into
the AE attacks again.
Yeah. And it sounds like your blood isn't as great as you thought it was, JB.
No. My blood work's the best in the nation. My blood work. If it was the top 4 blood works in America, my team is in the playoff. So I got best blood work.
Keep going, JB. Keep going.
No. I've been having a full-on workup for the last month, and this is the last part of it. So I'm getting a full fucking
full body.
I'm getting a full scan, dog.
Nice.